Hey guys, what's up? It's Looney TNT. We're gonna talk about some PvP. What are the best PvP classes for beginners to start off in Season of Mastery, and then once you start getting better at it, obviously classes get a little bit more complex when you're starting to hit that high end. But the cool thing is Season of Discovery is pretty simple compared to the retail game. In the retail game, there's a lot of different things. In Season of Discovery, it's a classic version of World of Warcraft, so it's not as crazy and as hectic as the other style of games that World of Warcraft has right now. So, first off, if you're wanting to start to PvP and you're starting to want to do some battlegrounds and stuff, there's difference between just dueling and doing some battlegrounds. If you're wanting to do some battlegrounds or Ashen Vale or the new zones when season 2 comes out, and you're wanting to do some world PvP, it's definitely going to be different ranges. But these classes that we're going to go over today are pretty forgiving. Okay, you can do a lot with them. So if you're a beginner and you're wanting to PvP, I would honestly stay away from melee classes. I know that might sound a little bit strange because melee classes do hit very hard. Rogues, warriors. Warriors are a little bit lower right now. They are doing like top damage with great gear. But if you're a beginner and you're getting into PvP, what I would suggest there's two classes that I would really focus on. And I would focus on the Hunter and I would focus on the Warlock. These two classes are more beginner friendly, and they actually scale pretty well. And if you're looking at beginner PvP, if you're looking at some battlegrounds and things, these two classes are probably some of the better classes also. So they are great for beginners, and they're also great because they're just top end. When you're looking at a Warlock, for example, if you're wanting to play a Warlock is always very powerful with its dots, with its CC. Fear is a great spell. They have a lot of things they can incorporate with their pets once you do start getting a little bit better and scaling. If you're wanting to be PvP and enjoy it and have fun, the Warlock is always a fun class because you could literally, especially in battlegrounds and things, you could literally just run in, dot a few people up, hit some fears, retreat if you need to, and damage is continuously being done by your dots. So if you're wanting to get into it, Warlock is a really good choice if you're looking into some magical damage and things like that. They do have a pet, so there's some utility with a pet. Great class. There's some different races that you guys can play with and figure out some combos and stuff with that. The next one we'll talk about the Hunter. The Hunter is I would say people kind of make fun of it sometimes for being so easy and beginner friendly. But right now, it's really powerful. PvE and PvP, just the way that, lower level scale with it. How they'll be at max level, we're not sure yet. But currently right now, and probably going into the second phase, I think if you choose a Hunter, you're gonna be in a good spot. Just because the mobility that they have as they do damage when you're doing PvP is so good, and they're hitting so hard. Their pet does a lot of damage too, so there's a lot of pluses. You could definitely go the melee Hunter route. I don't suggest that. I suggest keeping it just as a regular Hunter. I know Survival's doing really well for damage-wise, too, so if you're wanting to do a lot of PvE and kind of just back and forth that way, Hunter's a great choice. So, in my opinion, I would go after these two classes. Now, I'm not saying that any of the other classes are not acceptable, because, when we're looking at like a Druid or a Shaman or anything like that, a Rogue, a Priest, there's definitely a lot of options. I would stick away with Mage if you're a beginner. The reason I'd stick away from Mage if I was a beginner is because the Mage is really dependent on your ability to keep distance between you and your opponent, right? When you're playing. If you're fighting a rogue and they want to be really close and they're stunning you, if you're not really skilled at hitting your novas, at keeping your slows up, keeping your blinks up, if you're engineering, dropping bombs to create space, you might have an issue. They're really good when you start getting better at them. All these classes have great things about them, but in my opinion, the two classes that I go for is Hunter and Warlock. Choose any of them. Have fun with them. The great thing about Season Discovery is you can discover a lot of things. Leveling up is not too bad. Currently, as we're talking, the level cap is 25. It will be going up to 40 in Phase 2, so be ready for that. But like, favorite, share, subscribe. Do what you need to do. Leave a comment. What class do you feel is beginner friendly? And what class do you think is a class that maybe other people might enjoy? All right, guys. I'll talk with you guys again soon.